guest today was an original member of American supergroup, the Jackson 5. From the age of 12, he's lived his life in the media spotlight and witnessed firsthand the impact fame had on his family and his brother Michael. He's sharing his experiences in a new book, giving a unique perspective on his brother, the king of pop, and setting the record straight on the rumours that surround his life and his death. Please welcome everyone, Jermaine Jackson. Welcome. Good, how are you?
Good, good.
Welcome to Loose Women. I know you kind of know what to expect here, don't you? Because you were here 4 years ago, was it?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
when you were going into
Pretty
Celebrity
much.
Big Brother. Yeah.
Have you recovered?
Pretty much.
Now, this is the book. You are not alone. Michael, Through a Brother's Eyes. Obviously, that's the book which is just out. Why did you decide to write it at this time, Jermaine?
Well, I felt that this was the most appropriate time because of all the things that's been said about the family and Michael, and just doing this book, I got a chance to review a lot of other books that were written on this that during the time when they came out, we never read them, and I couldn't believe the lies and all the things that were said, and so I wanted to set the record straight to let the world know who my brother was, who this family is, and for once and for all.
Because when Michael died, I mean, I can remember where I was when I heard the news, because it was so shocking, because he was still a young man, relatively young, and those fans, he had many, many millions of fans around the world, went into a form of grief, didn't they?
Yes.
And there were lots and lots of them who built kind of memorials to him and flowers and tributes and so on. And we can just see a little of that there. And obviously then all the records came out, all the books came out. So were you suffering and the family suffering from grief? Is that why you didn't read that material at the time?
Yeah, well, we knew that it wasn't credible, and they weren't credible, but we knew how we were raised, and we knew that it was most important to stay a family from Gary, Indiana to Hollywood. And so to hear all these horrible things said about the family as well as Michael, we just didn't give into it. But
Jermaine, Michael himself, I mean, I'm really interested in the book when you write about your father and how strict a disciplinarian he was when you were all growing up. And I accept that you grew up in a neighbourhood surrounded by gangs, and so I can see where your dad was coming from, that he wanted the family to be a really strong unit. But Michael himself said to Martin Bashir in a TV interview that your father whipped him and that he was frightened of your dad. Do you think that that was wrong, that Michael wasn't telling the truth then?
No, it's not a matter of telling the truth. It's understanding, being a child and not understanding. Any child's going to get frightened because you're going to get a spanking. But we were raised no different from any other parent that were raising their kids. You had to discipline your kids, because if you didn't, there were gangs out there waiting to embrace them, and that was the influence. So just all the gangs and the fighting. There were times when there were gangs going on, and we had to turn our lights out and duck because of the shootings and this and that. So my father wanted to make sure that we were on the straight and narrow, that we wasn't going to get involved in that.
Now, there are a lot of people out there, as you say, who have written a lot of things that you say are not true about the family and about Michael especially. Do you think, and you've put the record straight, as you say in your book, do you think they're going to be convinced? Or do you think the people who are going to read this book are the people that don't think those things anyway? What do you think about it?
Well, I'm his brother, we're his family, and we were there from day one. We know what kind of person he is, and he was. He's no different from me. He's no different from Jackie or Tito. We were raised to respect each other, to respect the parents, to just like any other family, the proper raising. So it was most important to instill morals and principles in us, so no matter what was going to come before us later in the years, whether it was success or this and that, we knew how to deal with it.
Jermaine, but I think it's fair to say he was quite a complex character, wasn't he? I mean,
No.
Was he not? Because on the
This
surface it looks like he...
This is what the media led you to believe. This is what they led you to believe. How can somebody be so complex and this and that? And they care about people. They care about children starving. They care about people who are less fortunate. it was the media who misled all of us. And just like there's something out there now about my mother's selling Havenhurst. And I called her yesterday, she said, I know nothing about this. The media, they put things out there to create talk and to mislead you.
But Michael misled the media.
No. Well, sometimes he did because he knew that's what they were doing to him. So he played back. There was a time when he was in the wheelchair. And that was definitely misleading because he wanted to give them what they wanted. Think that he was down and out and sick and everything, but if you really look at that picture in the wheelchair, he's sitting up.
And that was before the tour, wasn't it? Before he announced the tour.
Yeah, because they were saying that he wasn't healthy and this and that. And it was the type of Willy Wonka act where he was going to, he's coming down the red carpet with the cane. All of a sudden, he goes and does his thing and he say, I'm back. He was the master showman as well.
So this Is It tour that he was about to embark on when he sadly passed away, was that going to be it? Was that going to be...
No. There again, that was not going to be it. Michael had a 5-year plan after that. He had just purchased a home. He was looking forward to doing a lot of things with us. And also his kids, taking them to see Charlie Chaplin's home in Switzerland, all sorts of things. But for him to say this is it was really the beginning of a lot of other things that he wanted to do. He wanted to do film. We both designed hotel resorts together that we were going to get into and construct in different parts of the world.
OK, well, Sarah has written in and wants to know, Jermaine, what is your favourite Michael Jackson song? Oh, my goodness, how can you pick one?
Mine would have to be Earth Song.
Why is that?
Because of what it's saying and the way he sung it and just the lyrical content. It's a beautiful song. Michael was always talking about the rainforest. He was always concerned about the planet, even before the global warming days and all this stuff. He really cared. And for someone to have the blessings from God, the talent that he gave him, God knew that he could use him to be the mouth and the voice for children, for people, for the planet. And his last days, if you saw This Is It, he was saying, we don't have long to get it right. We have to be concerned about what's going on.
But there must have been huge pressures on him because during the rehearsals for that last tour, he was a very frail person. And you say in the book that when you saw him after he died, he was half the weight that he'd been before, and he was really light before. So there must have been something going on with Michael. He must have been a sick person.
No, he wasn't sick. It was what they were putting in him. And those are the questions that we have as a family. That's why I wrote this book, to try to give you a series of events all the way up to his death. Michael was very healthy. He was looking forward to coming here to the O2. He was dancing
But do you think he was
4 hours a day.
fit enough, Jermaine,
yes,
to do 50
he was dancing
shows?
4 hours. Of course. Of course. They started with 10, but I think the plan was to do shows with us as well. But to answer your question, something happened between the first part of June and mid-June where they started putting this propofol in him, and his body's getting symptoms of half of his body being very cold and half being very hot. He's reaching out to people around him, and they're ignoring him because they weren't concerned about his health. They were concerned about doing this show.
But you said he was going to go on and do loads more.
Yes. He had plans.
Yeah, I mean, the tour promoters did say that he wasn't put under pressure by them. Obviously, we have to represent them here as well. And, I mean, the debate will go on, and there's the trial, which is coming up later on this month. Jermaine, thank you so much for coming in today. And we could talk forever, but thank you so much. Jermaine Jackson, everyone.